So whenever you see a trig function with a -1 on top, I always think of saying to myself, who has? So who has a cosine of -1/2? And when you go in, you always go to the first quadrant first, which is not going to be there because everything's positive. Then you go to the third quadrant, and the cosine's positive there, so it's going to be in the second quadrant. So who has the first number in the parenthesis? And it's going to be 120 degrees. Or 2/3 pi. You can see that's on the unit circle. Who has a sine of -1? When you go down to the 270, you see that the second number in the parentheses is -1, so that's 270. Who has a sine of -√3/2? And that's also going to be in the fourth quadrant, and it's going to be 300 degrees. Now this next one is, who has a cosine of √3/2? And that would be 30 degrees. So that turns into a 30. And what is the sine of 30? And that is 1/2. This next one, what is the tangent of pi/4? Pi/4 is 45 degrees. It's on your unit circle. The tangent is 1. Who has a sine of 1? And that would be 90 degrees. 90 degrees, the second number in the parentheses is a 1. Now this last one's the only really hard one because it's not on the unit circle. 2√5/5 is not something that you see on the unit circle. So you're going to have to draw a picture. And if the sine is √2/5, it's positive. You're going to put it in the first quadrant. And that's 2√5/5, opposite over hypotenuse. And they want the cosine, so you're going to have to find the other side. So it's going to be x squared plus 2√5 squared equals 5 squared. And x squared plus 20 equals 5 squared, which is 25. So x squared equals 5 when you subtract 20, so x is the square root of 5. So the answer to this one is going to be adjacent over hypotenuse, the cosine of the angle that has a sine of 2√5/5. Now this next one, I see some like cosecant squared, and you could go to the Pythagorean triples and find one that it turns into something, but when you do that, you make it more complicated. So I wouldn't do that. I would keep it simple. So I would change everything on the left side to cosine or sine. Well, first of all, let's move the cosecant upstairs as sine squared of x, and the cotangent of x, move it up as tangent of x. And now I'll change everything to sine and cosine so you don't have fractions underneath a fraction. We get sine squared of x, and then we get sine of x over cosine of x is what tangent is. Well, these cosines are going to bite the dust, and now you have 3 sines upstairs, so it's sine cubed of x, and that's what you're supposed to get, so you're done. Same with this one. I'm going to move everything upstairs first, so we'll have cotangent of x and tangent squared of x. And then we're going to have cosine of x, and cotangent is cosine of x over sine of x. And tangent squared is sine squared of x over cosine squared of x. These two cosines are going to wipe out this one, and one of these sines is going to wipe out that sine, and that's going to equal sine of x, which is what it's supposed to equal. So this cosecant, we're going to change, everything over here is in sine, so we're going to change the cosecant to 1 over sine of x plus sine of x. And if this needs a common denominator, he needs a sine of x over here. And in order to give him one downstairs, you have to add one upstairs. And now you have a common denominator of sine of x. And upstairs, what do you have left? 1 plus sine squared of x. And that is the same as the one up there. So here we have the sine of x. We'll leave him alone. Secant is 1 over cosine squared of x, and cosecant is 1 over sine of x. And when we cancel out the signs, we're left with just a secant squared of x. And when we go to our Pythagorean triples, we have that secant squared of x equals tangent squared of x plus 1. So we are finished. Here I notice that secant squared minus 1 is tangent of x. So that would be tangent of x plus tangent of x. I'm going to change that to a 2 tangent squared of x. I usually don't change things on both sides, but that looks easier to do. So let's see if I can make the left side look like that. I'm going to move the cosecant upstairs, so I have 2 secant squared of x times sine squared of x. And the secant squared is cosine, so we'll have 2 cosine, times 1 over cosine squared of x times sine squared of x. Well, sine over cosine is tangent, so that gives us 2 tangent squared of x, and we are finished. Here I'm going to have tangent of x, which is sine over cosine, plus cotangent, which is cosine over sine, and that's over secant, which is 1 over cosine squared. And so upstairs we're going to find a common denominator. And this guy over here needs a sine, so we're going to add a sine there. And this guy needs a cosine, so we're going to add a cosine there. And sine squared plus cosine squared is 1. And downstairs we have cosine sine. And then we're going to flip this guy upside down, cosine squared over 1. When we divide by a fraction, we multiply by its reciprocal. And this guy is going to go away with this guy, and that's going to give us cotangent of x, because cosine over sine is cotangent, and that's the same as 1 over tangent of x. So we are finished there. Now we have to solve everything for the whole unit circle. So I always put the cosine squared of x, make it positive. So it's positive already. I'm going to leave it where it is. And then we're going to do minus 2 cosine of theta plus 1. We're moving the minus 2 over, and we make it equal to 0. So now what times what is 1 and added together is negative 2? That is cosine of theta minus 1 and cosine of theta minus 1. So when you make that equal to 0, you get cosine of theta equals 1, and 0 degrees has a cosine of 1. That is the only answer there. So here I notice that we have a cosine of theta on either side, so if we just cancel them, subtract cosine of theta from both sides, they're gone. Remember, you can't divide to get rid of something, but you can subtract to get rid of something. So now I have 2 secant of theta cosine of theta minus root 2 secant of theta equals 0. And I see that it has a secant in common, so I'm going to pull the secant of theta out. And I have 2 cosine of theta minus root 2 equals 0. So now we do this secant of theta equals 0. That means that the cosine is undefined, and there is no such thing as an undefined cosine on the unit circle. So now we have 2 cosine of theta equals root 2 and divide by 2. So who has, not a root, so who has a cosine of theta of root 2? Cosine of theta is root 2 over 2, so that's 315 and 45 degrees. This one's difference of 2 squares, because they're both perfect squares, so it's 2 cosine of theta minus 1 and 2 cosine of theta plus 1. So it's going to be cosine of theta equals 1/2 when you add 1 to both sides and then divide by 2. And cosine of theta equals negative 1/2 when you subtract the 1 and then divide by 2. And there should be 4 answers for this one. And the 4 answers are 60, 120, 240, and 300. Here I'm going to move everything to the left, so I have 3 sine squared of theta plus 3 sine of theta plus 1 minus sine squared of theta equals 0. And I'll take these two. 3 sine squared minus 1 sine squared is 2 sine squared of theta plus 3 sine of theta plus 1 equals 0. So we know we got to start with a 2 sine of theta and a sine of theta to get our 2 sine squared. And what times what is 1? So we're going to do plus 1 and plus 1, and let's see if that works out. That would be 1 sine, and that would be 2 sine, and that would give us our 3 sine in the middle. So now we have that sine of theta equals negative 1/2, and sine of theta equals negative 1. And we should have 3 answers on this one. 210, 330, and then the sine is negative 1 is 270. There's only one of those. So I like the squared term to be positive, but you don't have to do it here really, but I like it better. So I'm going to move everything to the other side and make the other one a 3 tan, a minus 3 tan of theta equals 0. And I see I have a tan in common, so I can pull out a tan of theta, and I get root 3 tan of theta minus 3. So here we have tan of theta equals 0, or tan of theta equals 3 over root 3, which when I multiply by root 3 over root 3, I get 3 root 3 over 3, which is root 3. So the guys that have the tan of 0 are 180. Let me change the color so you can see it here. 180 and 0, and the guys that have the tan of root 3 are 60 and 240. So I don't like tans and secants in the same ones on these because then it's harder to do, but I see that secant squared is tan squared plus 1 minus 2 tan of theta equals 0. So I just changed that to this, and I put them in order. Tan squared of theta minus 2 tan of theta plus 1 equals 0. And then you factor. That would be tan of theta and tan of theta, and then minus 1 and minus 1. So here you would have tan of theta equals 1, which is 45 degrees and 225. Here I see there's a 2 tan of theta on each side, so we're going to cross those out. And then we're going to have 2 root 3 tan of theta minus 3 tan of theta cosecant of theta. And I see there's a tan in common, so pull him out. And I have 2 root 3 minus 3 cosecant of theta. So the only answers here is where the cosecant of theta equals negative 2 root 3 over negative 3, which means the sine of theta is root 3 over 2. So it's 60 and 120. When you put in a 0 or a 180 where the tan is equal to 0, it messes this up because when you put in the cosecant of 0 is undefined because the sine of 0 is 0 and the reciprocal of 0 is undefined, so it makes that not work. If you don't catch that on the test, I don't know if there's one on there like that on the test. If you don't catch it, I'll ignore it. So here the cotangent squared of theta equals 3, and you square root both sides. So the cotangent of theta equals plus or minus root 3, which means the tangent of theta is plus or minus root 3 over 3. That's the reciprocal of root 3, which gives you 4 answers is 30, 150, 210, and 330, because you have to consider the plus or minus.